Hey everyone, welcome to the video. Going to change MLB main slate for the on DraftKings. We have a nice 12-game slate looking ahead, so we got a lot of good options to look forward to. Anyway, before we continue, if you could leave a like, subscribe to the channel, I really appreciate that. We're almost at 1,000, so I really appreciate all the support you guys are giving me on this channel. So I cannot wait till we hit 1,000. That'll be pretty awesome. I also have a quick announcement that I did make a Patreon for you guys if you want access to my cheat sheets I do for all the sports I cover on here. I don't want to sound like a seller or anything, but I do put a ton of effort into all this content every single day. And I feel like I do a pretty good job giving you guys a lot of value day in and day out. So if you're interested in supporting me even more than you guys already do on YouTube, like I said, you guys are pretty awesome on there. We're getting pretty close to 1,000, so I really appreciate it. But yeah, like I said, if you want to support me even more, you can choose whatever sheet you want, and that would go directly to me just to help support the channel. And I feel like I give you guys a lot of value. So we have the UFC sheet on here, the PGA sheet. I think the guy that covers it said 23 out of the 26 guys on his cheat sheet made the cut this week. So I hope you guys had a great week in golf. Then we have the NASCAR sheet and the MLB sheet, which I would assume would probably be the most popular one because it's got the all-in-one database in it. It's got all the numbers you need. It's color-coded, nice, simple, easy to use. I update it pretty much every night, so you'll probably have it first thing in the morning, unless for some unforeseen event happens. But yeah, and we have for $10 we probably cover 40 slates a month. So I mean, you're getting a pretty good bang for your buck, I would think. So if you are interested, it's all right here. I'll leave the description below, and it's pretty simple to use. I believe it's like with PayPal and whatnot. So anyway, that's something to think about if you are interested. If you want access to all the sheets I do. All right. So anyway, let's get into the slate. So pitching, it's not, there's no aces on the slate. When I say aces, I mean like 10K and above guys that I'm interested in. I'm not even sure if there is a guy that's 10K or above. I think Soroka maybe, but not too interested in him. So Patrick Corbin, I think, is pretty interesting. 8,200 going against the Phillies. We used to have to pay 12K for this guy, but he really struggled against the White Sox last time out. And 8,200, I think the upside's just tremendous with his skill set. I know he hasn't really flashed it lately, but I do think it's going to make him chalky. But going against the Phillies, 8,200, I don't mind it at all. Although I do respect the Phillies as the offense, but the back half lineup isn't too good. Man, 8,200, I think, is a little bit too good to pass up there. And then Miles Mikolas, 6,400. Gross. Let's try this again, though. Just hope he doesn't give up another grand slam. The price drop, making him an excellent punt play at SP2. And I do think the bats are going to be more important on this slate. And I think Mikolas is going to be chalk anyway, so I think it's the safe cash game option. I think Corbin and Mikolas are probably going to be the two chalky pitchers. Because I want some bats, as you're going to see. I think there's a really good some really good spots for the bats I like. And then Kenta Maeda at 9,000. He has the best matchup, but he just doesn't go deep in games, and San Francisco doesn't strike out too much. And I don't know. I'd rather get Corbin and Mikolas and spend up other places. Then at catcher, we have Jason Castro at 4,200. Always like using him versus well, not always versus Porcello versus righties, because Porcello struggles with lefties. So I do like Castro and all the Twins lefties, and then Jonathan Lucroy at 3,300. Righty versus Edwin Jackson, and we'll go more in depth on him later. I love a lot of the Angels tonight, and he has good BVP versus them, 13 for 35 with 3 homers. So like Lucroy, and then Martin Maldonado 2,100. Just our favorite punt catcher, and he did really good. Yesterday, whenever you're watching this, I think he had 19 points. And then at first base, we have Cody Bellinger, 5,700. One of the top plays versus Beidou has been getting bombed by lefties. I believe he's giving up over 300 ISO versus them. So definitely like the Dodgers, because they're all pretty much all lefties except for a couple guys like Turner and Taylor and Kiki. And then Matt Adams at 4K. He's on fire. I believe he had 2 homers today, and then he had 1 homer the day before. So he's coming in hot, and he gets another good matchup versus Arrieta. He struggles with lefty power, and that's all Adams pretty much does. Is just try to hit bombs. So love Adams. And then Toronto first baseman, so that's Smoke and Tellez. I like them both. Here's Pena's awful versus left-handed bats. And I wanted to put Albert Pujols in here, but I just didn't have room. But I do like him as well versus Edwin Jackson. And then at second base, Tommy La Stella at 4,700. He's been showing some really nice pop this year. And Angels are one of the top stacks today versus Jackson, who's just a gas can to both sides of the plate. Specifically righties, but I'm not going to shy away from the lefties at all. And La Stella should be leading off. Then Jason Kipnis, 2,700. He was coming off a monster game yesterday. I did not expect that. I was probably expecting pretty much 3 to 5 points from him yesterday, but I ended up going off, and Imagine they're throwing back in the cleanup spot, and it's also hot in Texas. I believe it's supposed to be like 90 degrees, and I'd rather use lefties versus Lance Lynn, so I do like Jason Kipnis, and he's probably going to be chalk again. And then Eric Sogard at 4,500. I expect this game to have a lot of runs scored, and I like all the lefties versus Pena. And then at third base, Lestella, I've already talked about. J-Ram 3,700. Man, he sucks. But I respect Lynn as a pitcher, but I love the price and the park and the weather here just a little bit more. And then Eugenio Suarez, 4,100. Facing lefty in Great American Small Park, and he's always someone I have interest in versus lefties. I believe he's got over 250 ISO versus them this year. And then shortstop, Frankie Lindor, 5,200. The Indians have a run total of over 5 in Texas tonight, but I won't be full stacking since Lynn has respectable numbers, but I don't mind picking some of these guys as one-offs. But if I'm going to be doing that, I'm probably going to be siding with Kipnis and Ramirez, and then I'll probably figure out the rest. And then Marcus Semien at 4,400. I like the A's a lot tonight versus Cashner, especially the righties. But the thing is with the Athletics, they're pretty much all righties because Cashner's pretty much flipped this year. He used to be a guy you stack lefties against, but now it seems to be the righties. So I do think the A's are in a great spot. I believe the run total is over 5 as well. And then Didi Gregorius, 4,100. Like him at this price, and he loves the short porch in Yankee Stadium. And then the high-priced outfield. Here's the number 1 play of the slate. I lock him in every single one of your lineups. Mike Trout, 5,600. Like I said, number 1 play on the board, and it's not really that close. Trout is elite versus righties, and Jackson has been a dumpster fire versus righties. So I would be completely shocked if he does not homer tomorrow versus Edwin Jackson. And then Max Kepler, 5,400. He's the GOAT, and well, he's not really the GOAT, but I like calling him the GOAT. And he's an elite, in my opinion, lefty versus Porcello. And Shohei Ohtani, 5,100. Used to be 3,400. I told you guys that was going to come up soon, and it sure did. I did not expect it to get above 5K, but here we are. But I pretty much love everyone with the Pulse versus Evan Jackson, so do love the Angels a lot. And then in the mid-range outfield, this is more of a high-end mid-range, but Eddie Rosario, just one of my favorite players like Kepler, really just the same exact reasons. Then Jock Peterson at 4,600. He's got elite numbers versus righties, and Beat has been terrible versus lefties. You can see it's very late at night, guys. But at least I'm catching them as I'm talking. Versus lefties, lying over at 300 ISO. And then Juan Soto and Trey Mancini. I didn't want to leave one of these guys. Leave one of these guys off. So let's talk about them both. So really like the spots for these two. Mancini is a reverse splits righty versus a reverse splits righty. So that just matches up perfect. And then Soto versus Arrieta, who struggles with lefties, and Soto does have 2 homers off of Arrieta as well. And then in the value outfield, we have Chris Davis at 4K. I can see him being pretty high owned. Cashner's been allowing righties to hit him more so than lefties this season, and Chris is a known righty smasher. So love Chris Davis. Brewers righty outfield, so that's Bruce Braun, and Kane, and they're always in play versus lefties. And Puig at 4K, just another righty with power versus Miley. Then Justin Upton, he's supposed to be activated off the IL, and he's only 3,900, and he should hit in the middle of the order. And like I said, I love all the Angels. So let's get into some of the core plays and the stacks. We have Patrick Corbin 8,200, Jason Kipnis at 2,700, and Mike Trout at 5,600. Impactful weather. It's going to be hot in Texas, I do know that, but like I said, just check Twitter for the weather. It's probably pretty much the best thing. Follow me on Twitter at ChrisPennell16. I try to retweet as much weather as I can that I find important. And then for the top stacks, I have the Angels, the Twins lefties, the A's, the Dodgers, the Blue Jays, and the Washington lefties. I know I really didn't talk about much besides Soto, but I do think they are in play. Anyway, guys, that's all I have for the video. Remember to leave a like, subscribe to the channel. I really appreciate that. You can also follow me on Twitter at ChrisPennell16. And I'll see you guys tomorrow, and good luck.